Did you know that a cat's sense of hearing is about 5 times sharper than ours? Quite the sensory marvel, aren't they? Cats are not merely the furry, purring companions we adore. They are equipped with an arsenal of sensory abilities that would make a superhero blush. Take their hearing, for instance. Not only do they hear frequencies 5 times finer than we do, but they can also detect ultrasonic sounds. Yes, those high-pitched noises that even dogs can't pick up, cats can hear them. Then there's their eyesight, sharp enough to spot a mouse skittering in the dimmest of lights. And let's not forget the sensitive whiskers. Ever wondered why they are always twitching? It's because they are not just for show. They are like little radar detectors, picking up even the slightest changes in their environment. With such extraordinary sensory abilities, it's no wonder that some people believe cats can sense earthquakes. There is a popular belief that cats, with their heightened senses, can predict earthquakes. But is there any truth to this claim? The internet is rife with stories of cats behaving rather peculiarly moments before an earthquake. Take, for instance, the tale of a cat in Japan who started frantically scratching at a door only for an earthquake to occur shortly after. Or the story of a cat in Italy who refused to enter its home moments before a tremor shook the building. These anecdotes are not just limited to domestic cats either. There are also tales of wild cats displaying unusual behaviors before seismic events. One such report comes from the San Francisco Zoo, where apparently the big cat started acting agitated a full hour before the Loma Prieta earthquake hit back in 1989. These stories are certainly intriguing and raise the question, do cats have a sixth sense when it comes to predicting earthquakes? Some animal behaviorists and seismologists have weighed in on this subject. They suggest that cats might be able to detect the primary waves of an earthquake, which are not felt by humans but are followed by the more destructive secondary waves. However, it's important to note that these are only hypotheses. As of now, there is no scientific consensus that cats can predict earthquakes. The anecdotes we hear are interesting, but they are just that. Stories. They are not backed by empirical evidence. This lack of scientific evidence doesn't mean that the idea is impossible. It just means that we don't have enough data to make a definitive statement. It's important to remember that correlation does not imply causation. Just because a cat acted strangely before an earthquake doesn't mean its behavior was a prediction of the event. While these stories are fascinating, they remain anecdotal. Science, as of now, does not confirm that cats can predict earthquakes. Even though there's no scientific proof, the idea that cats can sense earthquakes isn't entirely baseless. You see, cats possess a highly developed sensory system, much more acute than ours. Some theories suggest that cats might detect the initial, less violent tremors called P waves, which often precede an earthquake through their sensitivity to vibrations. Others propose that cats are sensitive to changes in the Earth's electromagnetic fields that might occur before seismic activity. This sensitivity could explain unusual behavior observed in cats before earthquakes. Dr. Seismo Perfect, a renowned seismologist, believes that it's plausible, considering cats' extraordinary senses, they might pick up on changes that we as humans simply can't. However, these are all theories, as no concrete scientific evidence has been able to confirm these hypotheses yet. It's a fascinating area of study, though, and one that certainly warrants further exploration. So, while the jury's still out on whether cats can predict earthquakes, it's clear that their extraordinary senses might allow them to detect changes we humans can't. So, do you think your feline friend has an uncanny ability to predict natural disasters? It's a question that sparks curiosity, isn't it? Many of you might have experienced or observed something unusual in your cat's behavior before an earthquake. Some of you may have stories that affirm this, while others might be skeptical, and that's okay. We live in a world where the thirst for knowledge is never quenched. Exploring the potential of our furry companions in predicting earthquakes could open up new avenues in earthquake prediction and disaster management. Imagine our cats not just being our adorable companions, but also our early warning systems. But for this, we need more data, more stories, more experiences. We need to understand the patterns, if any, that exist. And who better to provide that than you, the cat owners and lovers? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Have you ever noticed your cat behaving strangely before an earthquake? Share your stories in the comments below.